Hello, good afternoon. Today's subject is thick black Muslims fighting over Satan. Thick black Muslims, males fighting over Satan. If you go to any psychiatrist and some of the arguments that these black men have in Hyde Park, there would be sectioned. Some of the discourse that they have in Hyde Park is quite bizarre and hilarious, to say the least. But what I find interesting is that these black men, black Muslims, obviously being very aggressive and violent. They're out there in all kind of weather, winter, summer, you name it, talking about Satan. And they have so much passion for the subject. They're really hard on religion. They're really hardcore on religion. They will die, for this superstition. And yet in the Bible, God says, how can you love me and who you can't see, and yet hate your fellow man? How can you love me who you can't see? How can you love me you can't see and yet hate your fellow man? And I began to realize by that beautiful quote from the Bible, the reason why these black men huddle in Hyde Park on street corners, peddling and selling religion, is nothing more than a social schizophrenia. Is nothing more than an attempt in which to hide their guilt. Guilt trip. Let me give you an example of guilt trip, if I may. This woman who got pregnant out of wedlock, and she was a Seventh-day Adventist. Seventh-day Adventists, as you know, they are staunch and by the book, really hot and heavy. And as a result of joining Seventh-day Adventist movement, she had this sin complex, this sin neurosis, and having a child out of wedlock affected her psychologically. She became paranoid schizophrenic. That's what strange religion does to you. It makes you schizophrenic. It makes you paranoid. And what you see on the street corners are nothing more than schizophrenia and paranoia masquerading as religion by a group of black men who have nothing better to do than to talk about Satan. The clip I will show you in a second. You won't hear them talk about science or business. You won't hear them talking about mathematics. But Satan is quite ironic. They don't talk about looking after their sons who they've dumped or taking care of their wives. But they're talking about a God who they can't see. How can you love an invisible creator who you can't see and yet hate your fellow man? It's an excuse. It's nothing more than shielding wickedness and deceit. It's nothing more than a fabrication for what they really are. Black men have no intention in building an economy. Black men have no intention in cleaning themselves up. Black men have no intention in thinking positively and empowering themselves and building a better future for their community and their children and their wives or girlfriends. They have no intention. So how convenient to hide behind religion. It is also a social neurosis, schizophrenia, but obviously untreated. You see, there's a difference between having relationship with God, a private relationship, and going mad on the street, going crazy. Total difference. When you have a relationship with God, the Creator, the Divine, is peaceful, and people want to come to you and talk about it, your faith. But if you're out there sweating your balls, threatening people, aggressive, in the language of William Shakespeare, me think he doth protest too much. What are you really hiding? Why are you hiding behind religion? It's no difference to homosexuals who hide behind marriage, trying to pretend they're straight. Same thing. A lot of people hide behind religion to hide what they really are. They don't want to confront themselves. They don't want to confront their ugliness, their darkness. Black men have left a community ravaged, devastated, full of drugs, boys without fathers, and all they could do is talk about Satan. All they could do, go into the corner, screaming and shouting, illogically. I've never had one black man yet come on this channel and say to me, brother, I'm a wretch, I'm a thug, I'm no good, but I want to change. I've not had one black guy yet said to me, I've walked that dirty road. I've walked the road of evil. I've beaten my woman, raped my woman, walked out the life of my son, and I want to make amends. Jesus said, he that forgives much gives much, and he that forgives little give little. The more evil you are, if you confess with your lips that you are a child of the devil, a child of Satan, you're wicked and vile and depraved. Rather go in a corner peddling false religion, peddling false black consciousness, if you would confess in sackcloth and ashes and say you're no good, you're a beast, a black savage, the arms of mercy, the arms of love would come towards you. But you've given up, haven't you? And the only way you can hide your deceit is by hiding in broken down corners, hiding in behind shop corners, peddling your nonsense in strange raincoat and funny beards. Only black men. You see one or two white men, but the majority are black men. You should be in your workplace. You should be building a business, not in 2017 on the street corner like a clown. You see, I'm a man of faith. I would die for my faith. But there's a difference between having a faith and having religion. Religion drives you nuts. Religion makes you insane and crazy and mad and militant and false. No wonder Islam is a religion. My next video I want to cover is the appalling rape that's happening to African women. One of my subscribers has sent me an appalling story. Africa has gone savage. It's not just America and Britain where black men have a problem, but America. I'm not sure whether it's too late for us. Even in Africa, they're raping women in the name of religion, in the name of Islam. Raping women, Christian black women, the Muslim, African Muslims, they're raping Christian girls if they don't convert this Islam, this religion of peace. Everything black men touch becomes defiled. Everything we touch becomes defiled, which is no wonder why we can't read a book, because the darkness in you, when you see knowledge, it manifests, it becomes frightened. You're so dark in your evil that when light comes, it exposes you as a vampire that you are. That's why black people hate books. That's why black people don't buy books. We become satanic. We become so evil. We dare touch a book, it burns in our hands. But we rather stand in street corners spreading false knowledge while our community is poor, rooted in poverty, abortion, black and black crime, yet we're on the street corner selling God. We have no business. Sensible white people don't want to invest in us, yet we're on the street corner selling God. I wouldn't listen to them kind of black men. The only black man I'm prepared to listen to are those who have businesses, those who are accountants, those who work in banks, those who are lawyers. But then again, if they're talking about religion, I won't listen to them. It's not their expertise. If they talk about banking, business, I'll listen to them. But whenever black people get involved with religion, they talk garbage, they talk shit, they don't understand it. Because it comes from neurosis, a cultural neurosis. It comes from schizophrenia, a cultural racial schizophrenia. Which is why black people hear more voices than white people. We hear more voices than white people. It's a cultural sickness. It's a disease. Eat healthy, think positive, think good, and then voices will disappear. I hope to find the link to give you. But black people talk about Satan. Black men talk about Satan. And I'm thinking, what? In 2017, and we reduced to talking about the devil rather than talking about business. We won't talk about how to grow our economy. We won't talk about how to put back into the black community. That we won't do. You ask any black person who is honest, male or female, who is honest, would you support a black business, male or female? And they don't. They don't. They'll support hairdressing only because they have to. There's a Muslim shop in Wolverhampton that treat black people like shit. They treat black people like animals. But you know something? They say treat them mean, keep them keen. The more you treat black people like shit, the more they love it. You treat black people like shit and they get turned on. Trust me, white people, treat us like shit and we say, praise the Lord. We love it. We'll speak in tongues. Treat us like shit and we'll speak in tongues. We get turned on. The Muslim shop, hairdressing shop, they sell hair and all that, and makeup and cream and all that. Body oil for black people, obviously. And they treat black people like shit. And the black people come back for more and more and more. And I guarantee you, not one black person can come on this channel and tell me why they keep supporting Arab Muslim business when they're racist. Louis Farrakhan, Dr. Henry Clark, Marcus Garvey, they failed. They failed. They never dealt with the sickness of black people. We're sick. They never dealt with it. Black people would rather support an Arab Muslim business and stop and boycott it. The days when black people used to boycott racist business. But now we've become savages. We've become animals. And that's why we hide behind religion. I'm in Hyde Park, in the corner. Because we're fake. And the biggest fakes are in the mosque. And sadly, in the church. You want to see fake people in the West. Not where they're being persecuted in Muslim countries and Middle East. I'm talking about in the West. You want to see fake people? Look at Muslim mosque and look at the church. They're the biggest fakers out.